Seen it with my own eyes, I would get it otherwise without the luxury of leaving. The touch and feeling of free is untangible. Follow the next, this is the start of a journey. And my mind is already gone, and the fear of the unknown somehow just doesn't concern me. And you can stand right there if you want, but I'm going on. And I'm prepared to go it alone. I'm going on to a place in the sun that's nice and warm. I'm going on, and I'm sure they'll have a place for you too. Ooh, anyone that needs what they want and doesn't want what they need, I want nothing to do with. And to do what I want and to do what I please is first on my to-do list. But every once in a while I think about her smile, one of the few things I do miss. But baby, I've got to go. Baby, I've got to know. Baby, I've got to prove it. And I'll see you when you get there. But I'm going on. And I'm prepared to go it alone. I'm going on. May my love lift you up to the place you belong. I'm going on. And I promise I'll be waiting for you. Ooh.
And we've been waiting for this day for a long time. It's opening day in the NBA. Thanks, everyone, for joining us here in the start of a new season. Along with Greg Anthony and Clark Kellogg, this is Kevin Harlan. It's Western Conference NBA action. The Memphis Grizzlies here at home. This, of course, the first opportunity to play Portland. Last year was a lopsided affair as they were able to take all 4 games in the series, earning the sweep.
Yeah, some history here, though. Of course, they won that first-round series in last year's playoffs and ended up sending them packing.
Added incentive in a game like this. I mean, they've got to be ready to rise up to that challenge.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's check out who's on the floor, courtesy of Gatorade. On the floor for Portland, they've got Vucevic. Taj Gibson is up there with Anthony. And there's Jackson. And it's Caldwell Pope in it, the 2 guard.
And guys got careless with the ball there, and the turnover leads to the big stuff.
Once he came up right with the steal, he went straight on the attack.
That's exactly the way to do it, too, Kevin. Go hard to the bucket and don't let them set up the defense.
As magical as the 2014 playoffs were for the Blazers, remember they beat Houston in that first one, that great shot by Lillard late to win it and move on. 2015, not as much. You know, Greg, they drew a very tough Memphis team, as we recall in the first round.
Yeah, you often talk about styles making fights. Very similar in this series. They were going to drop the first 3 games before being bounced, but still a good showing for a team that struggled mightily down the stretch with injuries.
Grizzlies 1 of 3 from the field to start this one so far. It's tipped. Westbrook dishes to go time. Back to Westbrook. Takes it into the teeth of the knee and converts the layup.
Not phased at all by having a bigger defender on him down low. I really thought he wouldn't.
You know, at first glance, you wouldn't think that he'd be comfortable in that particular situation. But I'll tell you what, he didn't look like he was out of his element at all right there.
And it's the Trailblazers with the ball. Grizzlies making the shot. Out to the right wing. Fires the 3. And Caldwell Pope gets the basket. Caldwell Pope's got himself on the board with 3 there.
And early on, they looked great. They made all 4 of their shots to start this game.
Jackson again, Westbrook. Outside, Batum. And that comes off the assist by Russell Westbrook.
Back at you. I mean, they immediately get those 3 points back.
Trading spray guns from long range. Trading blows from behind the arc.
Now here's Jackson. Kicks it to Vucevic. Pocket 4. One-on-one fast break. Lee passes the scope. Batum for 3. Shot is off. Some solid defense there from Jackson. He kicks it to Anthony. Fires the 3. And it's out of bounds. They say it was last touched by Jackson.
And as good as Vucevic is on offense, guys, he's doing everything he can to catch up on his defense. Huge size and wingspan works to his advantage. Although the subpar athleticism hinders him a bit. But, for example, he's averaged less than 1 block per game for his career, mostly because even though he's a 7-footer, he plays well below the rim.
So timeout call here. The first for Memphis.
You know, obviously, you know, there's some things out there he does not like and wants to talk it over.
Well, Greg, you play and you envision yourself as a coach as well. So, you know, sometimes you make some adjustments.
So Memphis going with almost an entire new group here. Lenz checked in for Gortat. Green comes in for Luis Scola. Kent Bazemore is checked in for Nicholas Batum. And it's Lamb in there for Russell Westbrook. Here's Lamb. And no good. Had a chance to take the lead. And to Vucevic's point, you know, big problem throughout his career has been getting into foul trouble.
Yeah, it's tough. He's aggressive and sometimes out of position. Coaches are asking him to be aggressive, but he has to learn how to do that without fouling. That's the next step in his progression. And some of it is anticipation, so you're not in position for it.
How about battling through the impact there and then willing that basketball in?
Boy, it does your heart good to see that kind of determination in a player. Really excellent focus that time.
Len's shot is off.
And typically he has the touch to finish when he's in tight, but not sure on that position.
Aldwell Pope kicks to Gibson. Some nice ball movement here by the Trailblazers. Here's Vucevic. And that one is stuffed right through.
Maybe could have tried for a more memorable dunk than that.
And we know he's capable of those memorable dunks.
Yeah, and when he's got a lead like that, why not take a few chances? A lot more engaging and entertaining than just doing the old ho-hum one-hander.
And they double up Jackson. And he gets it to go. 6 points for Vucevic.
You know, not necessarily what you're looking for, but still able to convert.
And Bazemore kicks to Lamb. Lee dishes to Len. Feeds to Bazemore. Just 5 to shoot. The throw by Green.
You know, there are a lot of bigger power forwards than him in the NBA, but very few that rise up like he can. Well, I tell you, the Grizzlies guys were really dominant in the first half of the season last year. But after the All-Star break, barely played above 500.
Here's Anthony. Bazemore grabs the miss. The Grizzlies trail by 3. And a wide open look for Lee. Kept alive. There's the foul. It's on Jeremy Lamb. That'll be his second foul of the game. Russell Westbrook checked in for Memphis. An almost entirely new group here for Portland. Biombo is checked in for Vucevic. Morris comes in for Taj Gibson. Anderson, he's checked in for Anthony. And it's Powell in for Caldwell Pope. Here's Lee outside. Count it. His second make in 4 attempts. And Memphis would end up going 16 and 13 over the back half of last season. Down the stretch, they would only go 5 up and 5 down in the final 10.
Yeah, and Kevin, all those games so important as they jockeyed for position in the West. It was so fluid and volatile down the stretch. They could have been anywhere from a second seed to a sixth on any given day, and they just happened to slump at the wrong time.
Now here's Lee. He's got 5. They now take the lead. And now a 3-point Grizzly lead.
It seems that every pass they make is leading to a score here. I mean, that's just exquisite ball movement.
And that's because the ball is looking for the best shot, and it's really paid off during the run.
So timeout call here, the first for Portland.
And guys, Courtney Lee now having completed 7 full seasons, very much the same guy now as he was entering the league. A 3-and-D prototype who will most likely never be a plus playmaker.
Gortat's checked in for Memphis. Batum comes in for Courtney Lee. And then for the Trailblazers, Steve Novak, he's checked in for Morris. And it's Marshall in for Reggie Jackson. Marshall with it. Westbrook picks him up. Anderson, a screen on Batum. They set the pick. 6 on the shot clock. Here's Novak. Drops one in from the wing. Talking about Courtney Lee, you know the ball handling and court vision are suspect, but you don't care because he's provided solid defense on the wing, Clark, and he's hit over 40% of his threes last year.
And he's also one of the best free throw shooting 2 guards in the league, Kevin. And last year he and Conley were out of sight at the end of games. That's a wonderful combo to have, 2 great free throw shooting guards.
Now here's Marshall. Now the feed to Bob. Offline with his 3. And Westbrook throws it down hard.
And really, he epitomizes what a point guard should be. I mean, his skill as a passer might actually be matched by that creativity he shows around the rim.
Well, judging by that jam, Greg, I'd say you're absolutely right.
Boy, that's a nice surge for them just when they needed it in a game that was so tight.
And that concludes a back-and-forth high-scoring first quarter of play. Grizzlies out in front as they wrap up the first quarter on a 12-4 run. And the second quarter will be on the way when we come back. Neither team able to build much of a lead up to this point as we start the second quarter. And a moment now to quickly take a look at the offensive approach for the Grizzlies.
Fellas, they're passing the ball the way you're supposed to here in this first half.
Another thing they've been able to really get going so far tonight has been the 3-ball, the long-range shooting.
They've got Batum. Russell Westbrook out there with Jeremy Lamb. That's Scola. And it's Gortat in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. That's the lineup out there for the Grizzlies. Westbrook passes to Scola. Lamb with the ball. He hasn't yet put up any points in this one. Scola kicks to Lamb. Memphis needs to get off a shot here. Anthony against Westbrook. Outside Anthony. Back to Vucevic. Out to Anthony. Passes it to Vucevic. On baseline, James. That's in there. Anthony with the assist. And that's now 8 points for Vucevic.
Just couldn't get a hand in the face on that.
That's usually what you got. He's got a height advantage, but it's a good use there and got himself a clean look.
Westbrook wide open. He fires. From outside, off the mark. Portland did a lot of things right last year in their 51-win season. The one constant for them was how they play defense.
You know, Kevin, they were good all season long in terms of staying focused on that side of the ball. Really made sure to challenge every shot, and with their length and reach, they should be a factor defensively.
Marshall dishes to Carmelo. Misses the three. So for the Trailblazers, their last game lost to the San Antonio Spurs. Westbrook passes to Lamb. Back to Westbrook. Offensive rebound. A second chance effort. Gortat. And Batum kicks to Lamb. Left side Westbrook. Lamb with the ball. Powell's there. Tries to snap the cold streak. Lamb, good.
You know, that's been a big part of their offense in the early stages. I mean, their success working the ball inside and getting points from close range, right at the rim.
And Clark, they might as well keep doing it. I mean, attack the basket until the defense makes an adjustment.
Timeout call for Memphis.
Big step last year for Vucevic's offense, Clark. Unstoppable at times, both on the blocks and facing up.
Vucevic is a real outstanding future all-star front courter. Rebounds at a high rate in traffic and out of his area. Finishes, faces up. This kid has a lot of upside. I really like his game.
Now a timeout called by Memphis.
And talking about Vucevic's development last season, he's also had the highest assist average of his career. He's a good decision maker on the floor, knows when to take it himself, and knows when to kick it to cutters and spot-up shooters.
And some changes here for the Grizzlies. Alex Len's checked in for Stoke. Lee comes in for Lamb, and it's Kent Bazemore in for Russell Westbrook. Here's Anthony. Hammers it home to polish off the break.
Wow, the floor just really opened up for him on that possession.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for good offense, but that was just a terrible reaction from the defense.
Bazemore for three. Shot is off. Some solid defense there from Jackson.
You know, and getting back to Vucevic, I mean, he's at an age where he may only get better. Averaging nearly 20 points a game last year after averaging only 14 the year before. That was an incredible leap in production. And I think it's one that'll continue.
Batum dishes to Gortat. Here's Lee outside. Can't hit. And it's Portland the other way. And here we go. Trailblazers with a fast break. That's good. And it's a 6-point Portland lead.
Easier to go strong to the hoop, but I tell you what, when you feel it, take it from deep.
Out of bounds, Portland takes possession.
Boy, did they ever make a mess out of that one. A terrible turnover.
Just not happy with how his team is playing, and they just have been on the wrong side of this run.
Yeah, and you know what, Greg? Sometimes just a pause in the action, which is what a timeout can give you, is enough to change things around.
Now a timeout called by Memphis.
You know, Dave Yeager, the coach for the Grizzlies, has really become a big-name coach quite quickly. You know, he's worked his way up the Memphis coaching ladder and has had a ton of success early on in his career.
Grizzlies making a switch here. Westbrook's checked in. Jackson passes to Carmelo. Count that as his fourth basket of the night. Just 7 shots to get there.
What a job he's doing here. I mean, his second quarter has been even better than his first. And that was pretty good.
And the success we've been mentioning with Coach Dave Yeager. He was the second fastest active coach to get to 100 wins.
And Kevin made his way in terms of coaching, started in the D-League and other minor leagues before becoming an assistant with the Grizzlies. And really was the architect, if you will, of the defense that his team is so well known for. He's done a lot for this franchise and looks to be on track to become their winningest coach.
Anthony with the block. And that's out of bounds. Memphis will retain possession. So for the Trailblazers, Biyombo checks in for Vucevic. And it's Anderson in for Carmelo Anthony. Bazemore for three. And again, Memphis no good.
They're not totally dominating the glass, but they're definitely doing enough to keep this lead right where it is.
Yeah, but they've separated themselves, Clark, in a number of categories. Rebounds just being one of them.
One kicks to Lee. He feeds it to Gortat. Now here's Lee. Guarded closely. Pass to Bazemore. Stolen by Anderson. And again, Portland running the court in transition. Oh, and they get in the way of the alley-oop. Not to be. Good play defensively. Memphis moving it around. That's good.
Heads-up aggressive play right there. Saw the smaller man on him and took it straight to the basket.
Jackson against Westbrook. Jackson is doubled. Anderson kicks to Morris. Jackson has the open look. They grab their own miss. Morris with the bucket.
That was the third straight high percentage look this defense has allowed. I mean, these defenders have got to start bumping bodies in the paint. Be more physical. Be more aggressive.
The game's just far too easy right now when it comes to attacking the basket. They have got to do better.
And the Grizzlies with some changes. Batum comes in for Gortat. And it's JaMychal Green in for Alex Len. And a switch here also for Portland. McCallum's checked in. Here's Westbrook. Count the bucket coming off a perfectly placed assist. Westbrook's got 6.
You know, he'll make you scratch your head and throw your hands up as a defender. I mean, you just don't know how to play.
And guys, Courtney Lee, not the most flamboyant offensive threat, but he's a steady player at both ends of the floor. Makes threes at a high clip and competes defensively. One of those guys that you don't necessarily win because of, but you sure will win with.
The Grizzlies trailed by 10. And shot on the way. Here's Batum. For the 3. Westbrook missing again.
I think it's going to be tough for them to trim this deficit if he keeps missing those kinds of shots, Kevin. I mean, they need his points.
Out to Morris. Here's McCallum. He's covered by Westbrook. To the left side wing. Here's Caldwell Pope. Portland again missing.
That's not a sight you see very often. I mean, he has a great feel for that jump shot, especially when he's open.
On the wing, Green. 7 points in the game.
And that's definitely a shot that he has in his arsenal.
Time called here. The Blazers decide to talk it over.
And did not seem happy about how things are going on right now and maybe wants to make some changes.
I agree. I mean, just was not comfortable with the way things were set up at that particular time. And in that case, I think it's the right thing to do.
And here is Marshall. Down low. And the dunk by Biyombo.
What a pass by Marshall. That's outstanding teamwork.
Stolen by Anderson. Now a timeout called by Portland.
All right, fans, let's get up. Let's get loud for your Grizz Girls. How about your Grizz Girls, fans? Give it up.
And that concludes the first half. Portland out in front, up 10. And we'll be back right after halftime for the start of the third quarter. We'll see you in a bit.
All right, fans, let's get up. Let's get
The second half just about to get going here. You know, Vucevic, guys, has been exceptional.
Yeah, how about all of the assists he's had already in the first half? Got his team a lot of easy baskets.
He's got great vision, Greg, and he's not afraid to get rid of it early. That's what makes him such a great passer. He doesn't hold on to that thing. He finds the open guy right away.
And the third quarter about ready to get underway.
Looking at the numbers for Vucevic, he's got 10 points and 3 dimes. This is something special. I mean, he hasn't missed a single shot.
It's really hard to put in words just what he's doing out on the floor.
On the floor for Portland, Anthony is out there with Taj Gibson. Then it's Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, and it's Vucevic, and it's Jackson in the 1 spot. The Grizzlies trail by 10.
And really, the Grizzlies might have dropped to 5th in the West in the final week, but they were near the top for most of last season. Often could be found in that 2 spot.
Dishes at the lane. Shot clock at 6. Lee passes to Gortat. And foul called as he misses. He'll go to the line and shoot 2. The Grizzlies did slip late in the West, Greg, as you said. Still, you know, Clark 35-17. That record in the conference was their best.
And even more impressive was the fact that the Grizzlies played their best when playing the other top teams. They went 16-11 against the other Western Conference playoff team.
And the thing, Greg, about Marcin Gortat, he's not a high flyer. He's not a super flexible athlete. But he's one of the best centers in the league because he's tough. And he's worked hard on developing his skills. And he always hustles.
And he fights for position down low. A terrific screener, does a lot of that dirty work. And he's also very good at passing the basketball. You know, a lot more skill, particularly in the pick and roll, than maybe people give him credit for. He can hurt a defense in a surprising number of ways.
Well, I tell you what, that's too good a look to pass up there. Even though it didn't go, that's one you got to take.
Jackson dishes to Anthony. Lang grabs the board. Lang got his 3rd rebound on the night.
Talking about Gortat, he was a late second-round draft choice in 2005. His first 4 years in the league, highly underwhelming. Now, over the last 4 years, he's averaged around 13 points, 9 rebounds, 1.5 blocks per game. Those are good numbers.
Now here's Jackson. He's had some playing time, but no scoring yet from him. The Trailblazers need to get off a shot. And Gibson, here we go. Whoops, there's the 24-second shot clock violation, so they'll turn it over. The Grizzlies trail by 10. There's a screen by Gortat. Westbrook kicks to Gortat. That's good, and so Westbrook comes up with the assist.
And getting back to Marcin Gortat, his dad was a successful light heavyweight boxer in Poland, so clearly you see where the toughness comes from. And Marcin's mom was on the Polish national team in volleyball, so you know where the blocking and ball skills come from. I guess we have to call him a chip off the old Bronx.
Westbrook with it. Put it down by Jackson. The offensive rebound. And there's the whistle on the shot. Took the foul. Shot misses. He'll be shooting 2.
Wow, he got whacked on that one. Shouldn't be much debate there.
Blatant contact. Straightforward call. Simple.
2 shots.
What a season for Alex Len last year. Came in looking to find a spot for the team, and he made huge jumps in his game.
And I think it correlated with his minutes going up as well. I mean, played a lot more minutes, and he's a very complete big guy. With the added minutes, the production has gone up as expected.
3 minutes gone now in the 3rd quarter. Lee outside. There's a screen by Gortat. Lee kicks to Lang. Right through the knee for the Lang. Lang's got his 2nd basket of the night.
They are not rotating nearly quickly enough on defense down low. Got to get quicker there.
Just no resistance on the interior.
And out of bounds is Memphis gains possession.
I tell you what, he clearly had a brain freeze on that one. You might just as well keep going straight to the bench.
And some changes here for the Grizzlies. Jeremy Lamb's checked in for Lee. And it's Mayo in for Russell Westbrook. Now he's checked in for the Trailblazers. Lamb passes to Bazemore. From the arc. Morris with the rebound. Morris has got 3 rebounds so far in the game. That's going to be over and back. Not watching for the line that time. Jermichael Green, he's checked in for Len. That'll be a 5-second call. Now, here's Marshall, guarded by Mayo. Stolen away, and it's Memphis on the break. Here's Bazemore. He's had some playing time, but no scoring yet from him. Memphis moving that ball around. Ball's knocked loose. It's stolen by Morris. Marshall dishes to Morris. Anthony on the wing. The pass to Powell. 5 to shoot. That one falls coming off Anthony's feet. Anthony's got 4 assists in the game. Now Lamb. The drive by Green. He's going to foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2. That one's on Anthony. One bit of news for the Grizzlies last year is that they acquired a single affiliation deal with a Clark D-League team, which you think is going to help them.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that team is the Iowa Energy. They're the sole partner now with the Iowa Energy. Good move by the team in what is becoming a growing trend in the NBA.
Len's checked in for Memphis. Batum comes in for Kent Bazemore.
And for Memphis and the D-League, they made the most of it. Set 3 players for a total of 14 assignments with the Energy, and that's how you make the most of an affiliate.
Another pass put right into the shooter's pocket, right in the shooting pocket for a terrific assist. They've done a lot of that today.
And it's something we haven't seen much of at the opposite end of the floor.
And now here comes Marshall, leading the break. Anthony kicks to Vucevic. Back to Anthony. And it's out of bounds. They say it was last touched by Vucevic.
You know, considering the Grizzlies and their D-League partnership, it really makes sense for the franchise. Memphis has always been a place where they grow their own talent. A lot of good players have come out of Memphis. Not a lot of big names signed in free agency by the Grizzlies.
Here's what Portland's going with right now. Bianco is checked in for Vucevic. Anderson comes in for Carmelo Anthony. And it's McCallum in for Marshall. Now a timeout called by Memphis.
Yeah, just frustrated by their lack of production offensively, and I can't blame them. I mean, they're getting the looks, but the shots just aren't falling.
Yeah, and the slump that they're having shooting the ball can take its toll on you if you're not mentally strong. So I like this timeout here to try to get those guys reset and refocused.
Catching up on the changes for Memphis. Gortat's checked in for Len. Scola comes in for Green. Courtney Lee, he's checked in for Jeremy Lamb. And Russell Westbrook is subbed in for O.J. Mayo. There's Lee with the 3. Morris with the rebound. Morris has got his 4th rebound with that last one here tonight. Can't get it to go.
I didn't see that miss coming. I mean, he's usually been money from that range.
Trailblazers leading by 11. Wide open look. And he knocks down the jumper. Powell's got 8 here in the quarter.
How about the passing? They are moving the ball without any thought, without any individual agendas.
Yeah, and it's really fun to see that kind of unselfishness. Really hard not to appreciate all the assists they've racked up.
And it's going to be out of bounds. The Trailblazers will retain possession. And Portland has possession. This is the most they've led by 13 points. Anderson against Batum. Anderson can't get that one to fall. And for Marcin Gortat, he was such a good fit for the Wizards last season. Actually, the last 2 seasons.
You know, he runs the floor very well for his size. A terrific finisher, solid in the pick and roll, can make the mid-range. He's been one of the more consistent centers in our league.
52 seconds left in the third quarter. And Marshall kicks to Biyombo. He dishes it to Marshall. Morris a screen. And out of bounds as Memphis gains possession.
And that's just carelessness there. I mean, you have got to have your head in the game.
The Grizzlies making a change here. Len's checked in. Westbrook passes to Len. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot two.
Yeah, just nice strength there and then just off with the shot.
Boy, with all the contact he drew there, Greg, that would have been a heck of a bucket. He nearly got it to go.
So Michael Green, he's checked in for Luis Scola.
Yeah, I like that they haven't lost their aggressiveness here in the second, despite being down.
That's exactly when you need to be aggressive, Greg. You know that. I mean, another good job, though, of drawing contact and getting to the free throw line.
Howard. Portland again missing. And here we go. And you can count it. He'll go to the line with a chance to make it three.
Wow, that's a really smooth finish.
That's why we and they always love seeing him at the end of those breaks. He makes it look fun and easy.
Gibson setting the pick for Jackson. Outside Gibson. No good trying to beat the buzzer. And we've watched three so far in this one. Trailblazers lead by 6. We've got more NBA basketball coming your way in just a minute. We've got a great game on our hands as we welcome you back. The fourth quarter of action getting started. The Grizzlies trail by 6. Scola out there with Kent Bazemore. Then it's Mayo. Then it's Jeremy Lamb. And it's Len in at the 5. That's the lineup out there for the Grizzlies. Over to the left wing. Good ball movement here by the Trailblazers. Here's Vucevic. And fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot two.
You guys, you know, Cantavius Caldwell-Pope, this guy screams potential at you. I mean, perfect size and length and speed for a two-guard. He plays both ends. Right now, it's all about consistency for him.
On the topic of Caldwell-Pope, he's the kind of guy who needs a year to feel his way around. In college, Greg, you may recall he showed dramatic improvement between years 1 and 2. The same thing has been true in the pros.
Yeah, and he has everything going for him. I mean, excellent outside shot, tremendous defensive tools. He just needs to add some strength and stay in attack mode to reach the next level in his development.
And they double up Jackson. Outside Gibson. To the middle. Stolen by Len. Stolen against Gibson. Now here's Scola. He's guarded closely. Lamb dishes to Len. Misses from short range.
The bucket just not well protected, but still he doesn't convert too often. That's been the story with him.
Boy, he threw out some punishment with that two-hand throw there.
And Clark, now's the time to do it. Continue to attack that rim. And he's shaking off that slow start, giving them a boost here in the second.
Mayo again. It's Jackson. Gibson the screen. Anthony nowhere around. That's good. And it's Jackson with the assist that time.
It took a long time for him to get that first triple, but let's see now, though, if he can get going.
He's one for 3. And the shot is good.
And they're just raining threes on both ends.
Boy, I love the answer. You come at me with the 3, I'm coming right back with my own triple.
Gibson the screen. It's Anthony with the drive. It's Gibson finishing it off.
Carmelo Anthony showing you his passing skill there.
Now here's Lamb. He's covered closely. The dish to Lamb. Pass to Lamb. Out to the right wing. Bazemore for three. But they recover it. 4 on the shot clock. Stroll kicks to Mayo. A second chance effort. No good. Some solid defense there from Jackson.
Solid rebound there. And with the score like it is, that's an area where they can't afford to get lazy.
Yeah, another column in the stat sheet that hasn't gone in their favor. To climb back, they've got to put forth more effort.
A shot by Anthony, no good. Timeout called, the Grizzlies.
And Kent Bazemore, the long-armed lefty out of Old Dominion, where he was the Division I Defensive Player of the Year back in 2011. A 5-year senior. He graduated with 2 degrees, one in criminal justice, the other in human services.
And Bazemore grew up in a small town, Kelford, North Carolina, far less than 300 people.
And a very tight-knit community, as you might expect, Kevin. His uncle owned the local diner. And you see that in his demeanor. Very social, a humble guy. He's really a nice presence in the locker room.
And let's get this update now from Doris Burke, who's across the way on the sideline.
Yes, guys, over that last break, I listened to Dave Yeager address his team. With his team struggling from three-point territory, he told them to start looking for more high-quality shots inside the paint. We're forcing too many threes, he said. Stop with the bombs and work it inside.
And no excuse there for missing that one after being freed up by a great pick.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, they came away empty, but they got the look they wanted. And really, I like the movement and communication there.
Now a timeout called by Portland.
Well, Portland had another strong season against the rest of the West. Ended up with a record of 31-21 in the conference, and that was good enough to earn them the 4th spot in the West.
Alex Lenz check in for Memphis.
Alex Len.
Portland leading by 3. Jackson with it. And they double up Jackson. And Gibson gets the foul. With nobody on him, he buries the jumper. Portland did end up 4th in the West, as you said, Greg. You're talking about that. And their 31-21 in-conference record was the exact same as it was at the end, Clark, of the 2014 season.
Well, actually, Portland won more games in 2014 than they did last season. Ended up 4th in the conference, mostly because of how they won their division.
Here's Anthony. And the officials call goaltending, so they'll award the basket.
He didn't get to that one quite in time, Kevin. Those can be tough to gauge sometimes.
Westbrook drives in. Here's Len. No good. Great D that time from Gibson.
Just not much success when it comes to shooting.
Westbrook passes to Gortat. Back to Westbrook. Five to shoot. Back to Gortat. Elbow shot. Kicks to Batum. From deep. Poked away. And here we go with Anthony running it up the court. Jackson against Westbrook. Anthony gives to Vucevic. And he comes off the screen and slams it through.
And that's how you make a steal count. Turn it into a quick slam at the other end.
It was really a case, it looked like Greg Anthony right there, if I can say so. It was really a case of a great defensive play triggering some instant offense.
Yeah, I remember GA as an irritant. And this guy, much like Greg, creating havoc out there.
The free throw drops for Russell Westbrook.
So far in the game for Westbrook, he's got 10 points, and he's been a good on-the-ball defender, too. He's got a pair of steals.
Yeah, he's just made a lot of very heads-up plays, and his defense really has been a difference maker.
Green, he's checked in for the Grizzlies. Batum with the steal. Lee, left side, sinks the three-pointer.
And he's finally getting the feel from beyond. His second three of the half right there.
Over to the wing. Oh. It's good. The assist this time from Jackson. Jackson's got his 8th assist here tonight.
And you can just see he's a different player since coming back from halftime.
Westbrook with it. Guarded now by Jackson. Lee outside. 5 on the clock. Here's the three. Rebounded by Vucevic.
And that shot isn't the one they should be taking if they want to make this comeback happen.
Green against Anthony. And too long on the shot.
The shooting numbers just aren't there yet in the quarter.
Jackson against Westbrook. Back to Lee. He kicks it to Gertzow. Outside Westbrook. It's in! Oh, and that cuts the lead to just 5.
Key buckets, and we know he delivers down the stretch.
Outside Jackson. Seconds left in the fourth. Gibson the screen.
It's close, but didn't get on balance quick enough.
Yeah, and as quick as players are at this level, in this day and age, I mean, you've got to be perfect in your anticipation to draw the charge.
And the Grizzlies making a change here. Skola's checked in. And a switch here also for Portland. Contagious Caldwell-Pope, he's checked in for Pop. Feeds it to Vucevic. With the clock winding down. And it's Gibson finishing it off.
And Kevin, the knack for the offensive rebound, a big part of what makes this guy special.
Not to mention, Greg, his ability to finish with strength, just like that.
Yeah, he's an invaluable asset for them to have. No question about it.
It's money from deep. And so they choose to intentionally foul.
Yeah, you have to do that, though. You can't just let them dribble the game.
Exactly. You got to stop the clock any way possible and hope they alligator arm a few of those free throws.
So he goes 2 for 2 at the line. And it's a 6-point ball game.
No mistakes there. I think you can close the book on this one, guys. It's done.
Here's Lamb. And so it's Portland winning this one. They seem to relish their role as the bad guy here tonight.
Kevin, I sense that as well. I mean, they really did feed off all of that negative energy this crowd was directing at them. I mean, they turned it around and used it as motivation to close out a significant win.
That concludes the first game of the NBA season. This is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. And now the award-winning Ernie Johnson will take it from here. We'll see you next time.